Coming up on MCTV this week. See Mama students work protesting in Springfield and experience Galesburg's citywide annual celebration of Valentine's Day. This week starts now. Hello and welcome to MCTV This Week. For Jack Godlewski, I'm Juliana Graff. MC students traveled to Springfield yesterday in support of keeping the MAP grant funding for students statewide. Lily Guillen takes us to the Capitol.
At the Illinois State Capitol, the students, who were accompanied by Stephanie Kincaid, the assistant director of the Wackerly Center, and MC president Clarence Wyatt, did not receive a friendly welcome from the security inside the building. Upon entering, their signs for the MAP grant rally were taken away, with some people saying that it was a disregard to their freedom of assembly.
I think the policies they have in here are trying to work towards students, but when we came in here with our little banners and everything, they had shut us down with not bringing our banners, and that kind of cut us the idea that we're trying to show our more political point of view as being the freedom of speech of having our opinions of how we feel about the fundings. And they just went ahead and took our signs away and says we cannot have our signs, which kind of appalled us in many ways.
The original expectation of the rally was that it would take place right outside of the Capitol, but instead it became unorganized while inside the building. At one point, the students were given the opportunity to speak to Senator Gary Forby in his office and tell him about the impacts losing the MAP grant would have on the students. But the senator was not able to show up. Although Monmouth College is a private institution that doesn't receive funds from the state of Illinois, the budget cut still affects more than 50% of the students attending the college. According to Kincaid, the reason that the bill for the MAP grant has been taking so long to be passed is because Governor Bruce Rauner keeps sending it back to the senators for all the conjunctions attached to it. After a while waiting outside Rauner's office, the senators walked in and presented the bill to the governor.
This was, of course, money that's been promised to you guys. This is money that's been promised not to the college, but to students. But it is funding that everybody was counting on. And we currently have about, I think it is 562. It's approximately 560, but I think it's 562 of our current students who are eligible for MAP awards, amounting to about $2.5 million. So that's a significant amount of money, certainly individually for our students and for the college as well. So there are some things we anticipated that this might take a while. We've been very careful in terms of some things we're doing with the college's finances, but it needs to get resolved for everybody's benefit.
President Wyatt also mentioned that if the issue with the MAP grant continues to drag on, the college will work with each student as much as possible in order to keep them at Monmouth. For MCTV, I'm Lily Guillen.
Over 125,000 college students in the state of Illinois received the MAP grant.
Saturday saw Apalooza come to campus this week. The Monmouth College Wind Ensemble hosted the event that featured performances by the Monmouth College Improv Team, Aaron Fry, Stereo Circus, Christian Corbett, Plunkett, Lydia Hill, and the Brooks Brothers Band.
I think it was a great opportunity to feature a lot of local talent, both here at Monmouth College, in the community, and also some people from around the area that people might not have known about. I'm glad that we could help support local music.
The Wind Ensemble was raising money for their trip to Ireland this spring break.
Chemistry professor Brad Sturgeon combined his love for teaching and a beer in a way to connect the community. Local De Novo brewmaster Sturgeon and Dr. Steve Merman are hosting a 4-week Beer School 101 open to the community. Located at Market Alley Wines, this 4-week crash course in the brewing process and brewing ingredients comes with samplings of a variety of beers, from American lagers to German wheats. The goal of this course is to introduce the community to the complexity of beer and to share their appreciation of craft beers.
I think there's a certain level of appreciation that goes along with beer. Some of the excessive drinking that the college students that I interact with is kind of associated with maybe not understanding or appreciating that complexity of the beer, and so any beer education that we can do, I think will be good.
Sturgeon and Merman first started brewing their De Novo beer almost 4 years ago. As a small brewery, the pair can essentially produce a new beer in less than a month and can cater their beers to the interests of the community.
Brad had some really interesting stuff that he brought just from De Novo. But yeah, my favorite thing about beer is just how relaxed people are in the industry. It's not as serious as wine. People have fun with it. Like, the labels are really fun and goofy. Communities can really be built around a craft brewery. It's kind of a hub for economy and developing weird traits within communities. It's cool.
Each 1-hour class costs $5 per person, which includes instruction, materials, and beer tasting. Reservations may be made through Market Alley Wines at 309-734-1800. Classes offered this evening at 5:30 at Market Alley Wines.
Galesburg residents got a chance to get a chocolate fix this Valentine's Day weekend. Lily Guillen takes us to the 30th Annual Chocolate Festival.
The Galesburg Historical Society hosted their annual festival last Saturday and Sunday, serving over 1,000 people on Saturday alone. The event has become a cherished tradition in the community, with people starting to talk about it since before the holidays. However, very little is known about the beginnings of the event.
The first Chocolate Fest took place in the Browning Mansion, which was a mansion that was purchased by the Historical Society and renovated, and in later years it was sold. I think it was just people loved chocolate and they talked about it, and somebody decided to do it and that's how it went.
The community's love for chocolate has been kept alive since. The treats range from a wedding cake in the shape of roses to cookies to bug-eyes, making a chocolate lover's dream come true.
In addition to classic favorites such as the chocolate fountain, the event also includes unusual treats such as chocolate bacon and chocolate chili.
As a matter of fact, the candy bacon covered in chocolate available at the festival is award-winning. The lines to get to the room full of chocolate were always packed, but a harp player preparing them to go into chocolate heaven accompanied them.
The fudge and the ice cream and the cakes, the cheesecake back there was fantastic. The bacon with the chocolate, other people liked it, but it's something that I'm not used to having chocolate on my bacon. It just didn't kind of jive with me.
For MCTV, I'm Lily Guillen.
The Historical Society hopes to host this event again next year and keep the tradition going.
After Valentine's Day chocolate, you may need to drop a few pounds. Winter might still be around and snow is on the ground, but that doesn't mean one should stop going to the gym. At least that's what the people at the Trotter Fitness Center think. This month is February Fever, a new incentive system to get students active during the cold winter months. Those who wish to participate earn points for each event they attend throughout the month. Each student who earns 20 or more points gets a free water bottle and a chance to win a Fitbit. Special attention is being placed on the school's swimming pool and rock climbing wall, mostly so students can recognize these resources are available to them. The hope is that more students begin to promote a sound mind and a sound body year-round.
Coming back from Christmas break and knowing that it's not always the warmest time, it's not always the easiest to get outside and work out. So what are some extra, motivational techniques we can use to try to offer, people to get in here and work out and use the facility, utilize the classes and different things we already have going on.
The biggest event of the month is a keynote speaker on February 23rd to discuss the dangers of alcohol.
Taking a look at some events on campus this week. Tonight at 7:30 in the Moot Boardroom of the CSB, Adam Johnson, a senior political science major from Chicago, will introduce the topic of the Koreas at this week's Great Decisions lecture. Tomorrow evening at 7:30 in the Patty Auditorium of the CSB, Stephens College professor James Terry will present an archaeology lecture titled A Loud Silence, Greek Kuroi and Human Sacrifice. Alpha Zeta Delta is hosting Z-Man in Doll Chapel Friday evening at 8 p.m. Tickets cost $1 to raise money for Autism Speaks.
Coming up after the break, the men's and women's basketball teams hosted Beloit College this past weekend.
Running got you down? Tired of lifting heavy weights? Sick of drinking disgusting, unregulated protein shakes? Struggling with complicated equipment? Join the Monmouth College Forensics team. Enjoy performing in a comfortable, climate-controlled space. Play games with friends. Enjoy FDA-approved snacks. Take advantage of personal one-on-one coaching So stop running without being chased. Forgo picking up and putting down heavy objects. Avoid nasty protein shakes. Be a part of the Monmouth College forensics team. Perform indoors in front of a supportive and captive audience. Play games with friends. Take advantage of personal and supportive coaching practices. For more information, you can find them by searching Monmouth College Forensics on Facebook.
On Saturday, the Fighting Scots track team hosted their second invitational for both men's and women's track this year. Monmouth turned in numerous lifetime beats, 7 first and 5 performances that ranked first in the Midwest Conference at non-scored 11-team invitational. MC's Dan Evers goes up here for a pole vault. He ended up finishing 4th in the Fighting Scots invite.
Well, the goals, we've won a ton of indoor conference championships up to this point, so the goal is to, kind of keep going on that success. Right now we're ranked 8th in the country, so kind of want to build up into that, see what we can get into going into championship season.
Scots Track and Field traveled to Jacksonville this Friday. The Fighting Scots women's basketball team took on Beloit this past Saturday in a conference showdown. The Scots offense got rolling early. On this dish from senior guard Emily Watkins to sophomore forward Maddie Dolman for the and one. But the Buccaneers fired right back on this slick pass from forward Tegan Rock to guard Laura Pequinia. The Fighting Scots went to the halftime break with a 37-31 lead. In the second half, Beloit renewed its inside attack on these layups by Laura Pequinia and Lena Wiesman, giving the Buccaneers a 68-63 advantage with 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. A late rally by the Scots, aided by this three-point shot from sophomore guard Kelsey Walsberg, helped force overtime. In overtime, though, Beloit's half-court trap led to consecutive layups, opening up their lead to a point that the Scots could not overcome. Monmouth fell to Beloit by a final of 93-87.
I definitely enjoyed being in the game, even though it was really close, but as a freshman, it was really stressful. I was just very, I was very afraid that I was going to make a mistake, but it was definitely really nice to be out there and be part of the team at, the last time.
The women's basketball team looks to rebound after this loss and finish the season on a high note as they host their final home game of the season against Lawrence University this Saturday. The men's basketball team took to the court facing the Beloit Buccaneers, hoping to secure that Midwest Conference playoff spot last Saturday. The Fighting Scots got off to a slow start in the first half. Defensive efforts by both teams in the first 10 minutes kept the score low with 13:23 left in the half. Sophomore forward Lamont Mitchell sunk this three-pointer to put the Scots up 10-6, their biggest lead of the game. The Buccaneers came back with 7 unanswered points to put them in the lead that they would keep for the rest of the half, despite senior forward Matt Chahola's 8 first-half points. The Scots came out ready to play in the second half, fired up by an early three-pointer by Will Jones and a dunk from Paul Engo III. The Scots continued their offensive stretch, scoring 50 points in the second half, led by freshman Lamont Mitchell with 12 second-half points, including this 4-point play and going 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Mitchell took back the lead for the Scots on a set of free throws, with just 5:53 left in the game. The Scots were up 63-62. Despite the Scots' last-minute efforts, the Bucks held on, answering every point and winning this one with ease, 83-66. The Scots will continue the battle for the Midwest Conference playoff spot and their last home game this weekend when they host Lawrence University. That's it for sports. Here are the scores from this week. For MCTV this week, I'm Tyler Berneisen.
And I'm Jack Godlewski. Make sure you tune in next week for another new edition of MCTV This Week.
And I'm Juliana Graff. You can also watch us on the web by going to monmouthcollege.edu/MCTV. See you next week.